Hey, what's up, beautiful people? It's the Glow Coach here with another episode of Biz and Breakthroughs. And we are here with Kwinetta, and she's the CEO of the House of Strategy. She is amazing when it comes to marketing. And I am so excited to have her here to really just drop some value, drop some gems, to educate y'all on what marketing is. And to inspire y'all to get confident, to show up and talk about your businesses. So I am going to let her introduce herself because I feel like I just can't do her enough justice. If you want to go ahead, honey, and tell the people a little bit about who you are, go right on ahead.
Sure. Thank you again for having me here. I am Kwinetta Moore. I'm the CEO of the House of Strategy, which is a global marketing solutions agency. And I am here intentionally, but I landed here definitely by God's plan. I don't want to say accident because it was definitely his plan. My background is in public education. I taught eighth grade language arts for about 7 years, and my ultimate goal was to climb the ranks of public education and one day be a school superintendent. And that did not happen. And long story short, my husband lost his job the day before our wedding, and that started a cycle of subsequent job losses. He lost maybe 7 or 8 jobs within a 2 year time frame, and so ended up getting pregnant, and I launched into entrepreneurship so we could keep the lights on. And my expertise as an educator, along with just the way my mind thinks as a strategist, I was able to birth. I found a liking to how things work, the things that people nobody really wants to know, or like the nerdy things. I found a liking to those things, and here I am with the House of Strategy.
I love that. I think too, especially being a teacher like that, that educational side of you makes you dig deeper into
Yep.
things that we would probably skip over or find boring or mundane. But you're like, oh no, this is the sauce, this is the juice.
Yes.
Even from the way that you describe what you do, which leads me into my next question, where I'm going to ask you that I know you specialize in marketing using research and cognition. Look, help me out, educator.
Yep.
Cognition. But I want you to tell our listeners exactly what that means so they understand why you specialize in this and why it's so important.
So cognition. Well, I'll say this: I didn't go to school for education. I took an alternative pathway, and when I was learning about, like my internship, they taught us about this word called metacognition, and essentially, metacognition is thinking about what you're thinking about. I know it sounds crazy, but that's essentially what it is. And as it pertains to marketing, we are so inundated on a daily basis with things online, and everyone is basically duplicating what it is that they see. And the way I approach marketing is really having a deep understanding of what your audience is thinking about, not what they see, but what they're thinking about, which is why when I do post on social, a lot of times I'm really busy with clients, but when I do post on social, my copy goes directly to who I need it to go to. And it goes from my copy to DMs like, help me, help me, help me. And I think about everything. I was in the gas station and I saw that they had the off-brand chips in the front of the aisle, and they had the like Doritos, etc., right behind those. And they had a little strip that said, basically, why would you pay for Doritos when you can have our brand for half the price? Things like that, because that those people understood that this person is going to walk from the front of the aisle. So let me go ahead and, get this message into their subconscious mind before they even hit the name brand things. So that's the type of marketing strategy that I specialize in, is really, really, really truly understanding, digging. I know everyone says digging deep, but when I probe my clients and I ask questions, I am really understanding the layers of not just how they think, because we're not our target audience all the time, but how their consumer would think.
I love that. I love that. And it's so in depth, and I think we forget sometimes too when we're marketing our businesses how we respond to things as consumers. Like we don't realize how much the advertisement and the things that we see every day affects us and affects the way that we make purchase decisions and why we buy the things that we buy. Before we even started, I talked about how amazing I think your brand is. And I was like, oh my God, this makes me want to level up. Like, how can I do this, but still do it with my own sauce, right? Like, we're constantly being bombarded with things. And I think a beautiful lesson that we can take from this is that you probably don't know your ideal client, or what I like to call your soulmate client, as well as you think that you do. I'm guilty as charged. Like, I think I know my people, but I'm sure you can take it about 10 notches deeper than that. So I think that's super beautiful. I really want to ask you, I know you mentioned, you talked a little bit just now about the questions that you ask people and that they probably don't know their client as well as they think that they do. Give us like one or two questions that we should really keep in the back of our minds when we're thinking about our soulmate client.
So the best way that I would say to probe your client, to really understand, what it is that is ailing them, because essentially it's all about the problem. When when someone is telling you about their problem, listen to what the problem actually is, but listen to the stuff that comes before that. So, for example, I had a client just the other day, and she was telling me, she's a copywriter, and she said, I'm struggling with what I do for people. I don't know how to get that across. And so I knew what she did, and I knew exactly what to tell her. But instead of telling her what she did, I asked her 3 questions, and I'll tell you exactly what I asked her. And after she answered those questions, I said, "That's exactly what you do for your audience." And she was like, "That is exactly what I do." So she has experience with like an internship with a big company, but she's still trying to come into her own. And I said, "Well, tell me, what did you do for this company?" She told me. I said, "Why did you do that for that company?" She told me. And I said, "Now tell me what frustrates you when you don't see this done right." And with those 3 answers, we were able to put together a unique selling proposition for her that really resonated with her and her messaging, like the way she speaks to her clients. So I would say the main question would be, what frustrates you? Because what frustrates people, I think sometimes is a God-given thing. I get very irritated when I see poorly thought out marketing campaigns, and I'm up all night sometimes looking at people's email marketing, looking at what they're doing. And sometimes I'm like, they knew better than that. So I realized that even though it frustrates me, that doesn't always have to have a negative connotation. Sometimes my frustration is what fuels me to be more excellent in my craft. So I would definitely highlight what frustrates you when you're trying to figure out, when you're trying to speak to your client, figure out what frustrates them. And somewhere in between there is going to be a sweet spot where you can connect and convey the transformation. I'm all about the intangibles. So you can convey, how you're going to get them from where they are and collapse that time between where they are and the transformation that you can provide.
I love that. That was such a good answer. That was really good. And it makes me think too, like as a business coach, what really frustrates me. And I think in answering that question, it also helps you understand how you really serve your client on a deeper level. Like if this really makes me upset, like you said, if I'm looking at bad marketing and it pisses me off
Absolutely.
and lets me
Absolutely.
know where my gifts lie and
Yep.
where I'm anointed to serve and why this thing matters, but it also allows me to kind of see like their struggles also. I can pinpoint and I can identify all of these different aspects that's going wrong, that's not leading them to the result. And I think in
Yes.
turn, you're getting clarity on how you can serve and how to articulate your solution. So that was good. And I
That's
hope the
the big
listeners
thing.
really caught that.
Yeah,
I
that was a
hope they
big
caught
thing.
that.
That clarity, that clarity is that's the thing right there. You hit it on the head with that.
That was really good. I know we talked a little bit before when we were emailing back and forth, and you told me one of the things that you're passionate about is making sure that women feel confident to show up. And I know I struggled with this for a very long time, but let me just say, clarity will give you confidence. Let me start there. When you know that you are meant to do something, when you know that God has gifted you through your life experience, through your skill set, through just being anointed and just having this crazy divine wisdom to understand certain things, you get confident and you start talking about that thing. But sometimes imposter syndrome will get in the way. Sometimes you start comparing yourself. Sometimes you start doubting what God is really doing in your life. So, why do you really believe it's important to be confident online? And especially as a Black woman, um, providing a service that is going to impact people in a positive way, but not feeling good enough to show up through her marketing online.
I would definitely say that you have to be confident enough to be contrary. This
Mm,
year, I took a lot of time to myself and last year to not, and this is going to kind of be contradicting who I am in my business, but I encourage my clients to do this also because there's so much noise. So I have not invested in a coach or in a program in a while because I needed to get away from that because I am a very unique subset of a person. Like, I don't know if just all of the things that I represent and the spaces that I can effortlessly move through, many people would resonate with that. You know, I'm an educator, I'm a business owner. My first business was t-shirts. I still sell t-shirts. I learned how to do graphic design during COVID. So a part of my business is graphic design. My husband and I, we're pastors. I'm a pastor's wife. You know, I have children. So I do so many different things. And I had to let go of, I believe that being laser focused is a thing. But in 2023, the type of person that is moving into entrepreneurship or navigating entrepreneurship is a woman of many talents. And so I have had to learn to be okay with having the gifts that I have and not feeling so much pressure to put one label on that. So sometimes, like, I'm in a season now, if you look at my page, I haven't posted in a few weeks. I think I posted Sunday, but I take time away because I believe that God has gifted me even prophetically to see certain places that the marketplace is going in. And eventually, Instagram is only going to be a portfolio. So I don't even put all my eggs in that basket. So I really think that showing up confidently is really grasping what you know in your soul you are called to do. And sometimes it is more than one thing. Sometimes you move across several different spaces. I had someone reach out to me yesterday and she's frustrated. She was like, I need to talk to you and I need to be able to leave our conversation knowing what my personal brand is. And I think that that is what the space is moving to. Because yeah, I own the House of Strategy, but my name is synonymous with strategy and structure. So even if I didn't have the House of Strategy, Kwinetta Moore represents marketing strategy. And so that is what I'm trying to do every single day. And, even I used to work as a business coach before I laser focused in on strategy, but sometimes I find myself giving that to my clients and I no longer feel guilty about it because I'm able to do it and I do it well. So I think if you want to be able to show up confidently online, sometimes you got to be confident enough to say, this, I don't fit in that box. And that's okay. And you have to know that you can't feel like, you know, everyone's saying, well, if you do that, you won't make $1 million. Or if you do this, you won't, because the social streets are not what they were 10 years ago. So a lot of the strategies that people are giving are dated. There are some truth to those strategies. So I'm not trying to, piss on anybody's strategy, but some of those things are just dated. It is no longer, I don't think it's no longer any more profitable to say you got to stick to one thing when the wave of the future is definitely multiple streams. You don't have to have multiple businesses, but my one business, there are several streams and several ways I make money within my one business. So I think that's the key to showing up confidently is sometimes throwing those rules out the window.
yes, I'm so with you, honey. I'm over here. I know if you're listening and you don't see the video, I'm shaking my head hard. Okay. I am in agreement with what she's saying. And it's so true. My husband is one of those people that's multifaceted. He could do a million different things. He has all these different natural talents. Even though I love business, I came from the cosmetology and beauty industry. And then now I have a healing boutique and we're launching other businesses and doing different things in this year. So it's hard to be locked into this box and say, I'm just one thing and I have to show up as this one thing. And if I talk about anything else, my whole brand is going to collapse. Nobody's going to want to work with me and blah, blah,
Exactly.
blah, and all of this mess that we feed ourselves. And I truly don't believe that's why I love how you talk about marketing. When I see your post, it resonates so deeply. And it's like, you don't have to be this one thing, you know, you just have to know who you want to serve and how you want to serve them. And you have to articulate it properly, but you don't have to be one thing. And I tell a lot of my clients that, especially my coaches, that get caught up in what am I going to call myself and what is this one name that I'm looking for? And I'm like, okay, you have this broad name. And that is essentially the sign on the door for people to just get a general idea of what you do and
Right.
kind of what area you serve them. But once they get behind that door, honey, they're supposed to get all parts of you, every
Yep.
piece of you that God has created to serve them. Like you said, you come from all of these different places. And I think when you understand how that unique combination of everything that you've been through and everything that you've learned and everything that you are is here to show up in a really beautiful and authentic way, it becomes phenomenal for the
Yeah.
people that you are here to serve. You know, so I don't believe in boxing people in. I think it's so whack. And it kind of pisses me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I have like a whole in my list of future podcast episodes, I have my vent about the coaching industry because it makes me mad when people say this is the only way something can be done. And then they
Absolutely.
create fear inside of people. They scare people into wanting to work with them because they're afraid to do anything else. God forbid I don't launch this particular way. God forbid I don't do my brand and do my Instagram page. It's very specific. That's not true. That's not true. And if we look at the success of different people that we like and are inspired by, everybody's kind of doing their own thing. I think it's
Yeah.
fundamentals and it's principles and things that, you know, keep you on track, keep you consistent, you operating smartly in your business. But everybody has their own vibe and their own energy and their own way of doing things. And when you
Absolutely.
understand that as long as you're being obedient and you're trusting what God is downloading into you and you're staying on your path, keeping your eyes in your lane, you're going to reach where you're trying to reach. So
Absolutely.
everybody out there that's looking around and comparing themselves and not feeling good enough or feeling confused about who they are, find a way to just bring all your magic together and
Yeah.
then work with somebody like Kwinetta who can help you market yourself effectively. So I think that was a great, great, great answer. I think you answered my next question about what do you feel holds women back from being confident enough to do what really works for them. But I want to hear a little bit more about your personal experience. What is something that maybe you struggle with as far as showing up online? I know you mentioned like combining all of these aspects, but I also struggle with, like I said, imposter syndrome. Sometimes I compare myself. You know, I'm a beautiful plus size woman. I struggled with my weight, and people are going to look at me, and people are going to say she's too fat, and all of these crazy thoughts that come in our head. But can you tell us a little bit more about some of the things that really, really held you back?
Um, I would definitely say comparison was holding me back, and also I felt like I didn't know enough, and so I've wasted a lot of money. And so this is why I really respect my clients, and a part of me vetting them before I take any of their money is asking them about their process, because sometimes I have to tell them, you don't even need me. You need to implement what it is that you already know. And so a lot of times we sign up for programs not because we need it, we do it for validation, because we think, what am I missing? And I know for a while my reasoning for signing up for different things was, what am I not saying? Like what is, because I felt like I needed to have all these followers or these, different things. And I don't know, like I just really found peace in working with my people, and what's for me is for me. And the people who are making the millions of dollars, I'm the reason why. And even in my space, there are certain clients that I never even disclose that I work with, because I don't have to. I don't have to credential boast. And there are several people who they hear me speaking, they're like, you sound like you're very smart. And I'm like, well, I appreciate that. And I don't ever even say, I have 3 degrees and I'm finishing my PhD, but I don't even, I just try to be regular. I'm just myself. I want people to respect me as that. So I really had to get rid of the comparison, I still struggle with it, but I find that one of my core values as a person and as my brand that attracts people to me is my transparency. So the fact that I tell people, like, I had a client and, I messed up, I missed a deadline, or I did this, or I just, I didn't charge them enough, and I didn't do it because I wanted to get in with them and credit. Just these different things speaks to the things that when I ask my client what their problem is, they'll tell me some surface things, but when I'm transparent with them, it unlocks those very things that they're dealing with, and they're just like, "Oh, she actually does get it." And that's why I'm so transparent, because again, cognitively, I know that subconsciously you don't know me like that, so you don't trust me. So when I ask you what your problem is, you're not going to tell me everything. But when you hear that me as a coach or as a strategist, I'm still dealing with some of the same things that you're dealing with, which is why you're coming to me or you're in my inbox, it really presents the best type of connection, because now I'm not just here for your money. I'm genuinely here for your transformation. And even some people, I tell them when I was a coach, I'm a strategist now, and I still work as a coach. But when I was exclusively coaching, I would tell people, you don't have no business being with me for 24 months. I need to be able to pass you on to somebody else to help you scale beyond six figures or multiple six figures, possibly even seven. So like, I was that real with them. Like, I know y'all love me and everything like that, but let me pass you on to somebody else, or find somebody else who focus on another area in your business that you can make more robust so that you can grow. I think my client retention is a little bit longer now because I'm just strategy. So you need strategy at every area, at every level in your business. But that comparison really had me. It really had me like, and sometimes I still find myself being like, dang, I wonder why I did not come out this way, or I wonder why this didn't happen for me. And so it really requires, I know that you really focus on mindset. It really requires like to be super grounded, because it's like one wrong thought can totally derail you, and you will be off track for months or even years, and you lose all of that productivity within your business. So I'm understanding the value of having my mind in check, which is why sometimes I don't even answer my phone. I don't, I tell people I am that busy. I know you see me posting on social, but that's my outlet. So I see your text, but I just can't because of my mind. So I'm just learning to take care of myself so that I can show up as confident as possible.
Yes, I totally, totally agree. I have so much that I want to say to that. I got to get my thoughts together, honey, because my mind was going as I was listening to you. But that is so true. Comparison is really the thief of joy. And the mind is a battlefield. God tells us that. He warns us about that. And the more and more that you can be grounded and just so focused on what you got going on. Like, I understood when you said earlier about really taking a break and not working with anyone, and even being honest enough to tell your clients when they don't need to work with you. And I feel like that's the season that I'm currently in. And it's funny because I invested so much into myself in 2022. And there's been times in 2021 where I invested in myself and I wasted my money. I was like, damn, I just needed to do what I said I was going to
Yeah.
do. I needed to do what I already knew what I was supposed to do. And so now I'm in this season of just really practicing discernment. And I try to
Yes.
be so real with people and let them know, listen, pray before you hire me, honey.
That's
Pray.
it.
Because even though I know that God has people assigned for me to help, and they have people assigned for them to help, I want you to put it into prayer. I want God to confirm it so we know when we start working together that this is a God led thing, that I am here to serve you, and that what I have to offer is actually going to benefit you. Because what happens when you don't practice discernment is you end up wasting a lot of time and a lot of money, and you end up not trusting what God is already doing in you. Sometimes you just need to recognize that you already got everything you need.
You already
It may
got
not feel like it, but sometimes you already got everything you need. And there'll be times when you don't, when you do need information, when you do need someone to walk you through the process. But that discernment will help you decipher.
it. Yeah.
So it's perfectly okay to just take that season and go into prayer and like, let me get my head on straight, because sometimes you'll be reaching for things from this place of scarcity and lack of something that's not even missing. And it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm practicing that, even to the point that I finally made like another little Gmail just for when I want to sign up for stuff or have people, send me
That's
email
smart.
marketing. It
Yeah.
goes to this specific thing because if it goes in my regular email and I'm constantly, checking my stuff and it's mixed in, I get distracted. I forget what God has called me to do and I forget to stay focused. And then I'm reaching like, well, maybe I am missing this little piece and maybe I am. And then when I get off of it and I sit and I'm talking to God and doing my journal, he's like, wait a minute, Steph. I told you what to do already. You know what to do. Stop playing yourself and go do it. You
Stop
may
playing.
not need anyone right now. So
Yes.
that is really, really good, and I like how you put that and it's honest. And a lot of coaches don't talk about that. And I think another thing that frustrates me is that people won't market in a way that's really authentic and true. They just want to get a quick dollar. Stop taking clients that you know that you can't help because it makes us all look bad in the industry. Then
Yes,
people
it
have a
does.
hard time trusting when God has sent the right person, the right coach, or somebody to support them. They can't even trust it because they've been burnt so many times.
So many
It's
times.
wild. It's
Yep.
wild, and I know you talked about core values. My number one core value after love is integrity. I
Yes.
don't want to take your money if I know for a fact I can't help you,
Yeah.
So we have to be really intentional. And I think the power in knowing how to market is that you end up speaking to the right person, that you're not all over the place and just bringing in this crowd of people that now you may have gotten 1,000 sales, but you have a 20%, success rate with your clients. I'd
Yeah.
rather have 50 sales and 100% success rate because I know I helped 50 women absolutely do what I said I was going to do,
Absolutely.
and that is more important to me than getting a whole bunch of dollars and having a bad reputation as a coach. So
Yes.
that was good, honey. That was good. I ain't gonna go on and on because I get really hot about that. But I know you gave us a few questions to help us really understand, how we serve our clients. But what are some practical tips that you can give our listeners so they can begin to really market more effectively and stand out online?
If you want to stand out online, I know people say this all the time, and I don't say this in terms of positioning, but I say this in terms of authenticity. You're going to have to be able to establish yourself as an expert. With all of the content that is out, there is no lack of things for us to discuss. Like I just said, like I was at the gas station inside of Buc-ee's and I was like, this is brilliant. I don't watch a lot of TV because I work a lot, but one time my husband and I were watching TV and I watched a commercial and I paused Hulu and I was like, did you see that? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, that was so simple. Like just the way they start. I mean, I really break down everything, the marketing in everything. So I don't need, anybody's manual or anybody's anything because I know what I'm doing. And the way I present that to my audience is simply talking about the everyday things. A lot of people, they put out these different quote graphics and short form video, all that's cute. We got to do that. We need content. But I try to position my things, even if it's controversial. Like I shared a video maybe a month and a half ago that said I'm not putting all my eggs in a short form video basket. And everybody was kind of like side eyeing it. And I shared some things in my story the other day. And I was like, I told y'all a month and a half ago that I'm not doing this and this is why. So I research, I read everything, like even right now with this bill that is proposed to Congress to ban TikTok and these other types of online media, what the consequences are, what you can't do. All of those things, if you say that you specialize in health, I mean, I need to be able to come to you about my blood type, about what I'm eating, about the type of things I'm like. You need to be an expert. Like, you should be inside of a restaurant. Like, I don't eat that have that in it. You may not know because they're not advertising it, but this is what it really is. So I feel like with my market, and to me, that is the truest, most authentic form of marketing is being yourself. And I feel like that sounds very remedial and very surface, but it really goes very deep because a lot of times online we are trying to curate everything. We are trying to curate everything, which is why even myself with my many degrees and I've studied on the doctoral level for over 6 years, I use AAVE in my messaging for a purpose, for a reason, because I want to be relatable. I know people do that now, and everybody wants to cuss in their. I don't like all that, but I want to be relatable to who I'm trying to reach. And my people appreciate that. I have everyone from the everyday so and so up to a person who's a president of a university who I assist and I work with them with their marketing. So, being yourself, like really, who are you if you don't curate what you're trying to say? A lot of times I think about, you know, I, I was asking myself the other day, like, am I really about to start back posting on Instagram? And I was like, I don't want to. So I'm not. And I posted, it's just that simple for me. And the other day I posted a picture on Sunday because I took a picture, but it had nothing to, and honestly, I wasn't going to post it because I was like, I can't mess up my feed because everything is this way. But I was like, bump that. Even like, sometimes on my children's birthday or my husband's our wedding anniversary, I'll post in my stories because I can't mess up my feed. But I had to come out of that so I can show up. This is who I am. Like, the next post I probably post on Instagram is probably gonna say, I hate it here. Like, I don't know. Like, I really, I know that a lot of my clients feel the same way because people text me like, what do you think about this? The whole blue checks or just every little thing, people want my opinion about it. I don't have opinion on everything, but I really do find that not losing the integrity of who I am as a person has been my best marketing strategy. I find that people are attracted to my intelligence. People are attracted to the way I say things online. People are attracted to the way I present what I say online. People can identify with me coming in my stories and talking maybe once every 2 weeks and nothing on my feed because they're just like, I'm in that same place too. Like, I'm just not really feeling it right now, but I'm working, but I don't have to always be on. Like, it's kind of like if you're not posting on Instagram, then you're not building your business. I put in several hours for the House of Strategy every single day. There's not a day that I miss. So that is how I am marketing myself. I'm showing up as an expert. I'm showing up as myself, and I'm being consistent, even if that looks like gaps in when I appear, but that is consistent because it's consistent and aligned with who I am as a person and what I believe. So if I don't want to show up in terms of on social, my paid community sees me often. So that's just what and also for your marketing, drive traffic away from these platforms. Drive traffic away from these platforms. Drive traffic away from these platforms, because if it is that this ban does go through Congress and it's voted on and it's approved, a lot of people are going to be hurt because they have established 100% their business online. We need to move back to online being 30 to 35%. And when I say online, I mean social. Social being 30 to 35% of what we do online, as opposed to it being 90. Some people, if these apps were to go down today, would not have a business at all. And sometimes I can get caught in that myself, which is why I'm building my email list. I'm talking to my paid community as often as possible because we don't even know what's going to happen. So build your personal brand, be an expert, get your traffic off of these platforms that we don't own.
Yes. You know what? I can relate because I was just telling my hubby, TikTok ain't for me. I don't care who comes say Steph tomorrow you can make $1,000,000. If it's not God and Jesus giving me a dream, coming down by the side of my bed and telling me personally, I'm not posting no more on TikTok. TikTok
Yeah.
frustrates me and aggravates me to a level that I cannot explain. I don't know what it is, and I think because I really try not to be a scroller. I get caught up sometimes. I find funny videos. I have all this stuff, honey, in my Amazon cart from watching people videos, but it just frustrates me. It does. And I feel like how you feel. Like, I hate it there. I hate it over at TikTok. And
Mm-hmm.
even with my boutique, even though that's a product based business and everybody in mama's like, get on Instagram, brand awareness. And I mean, I'm on TikTok, get brand awareness. I don't want to. And I think we do very well on the platforms that we utilize, so I think it's important to remember that it's okay to not like something, and don't allow people to just force you and box you in and say you can only post here to be successful. If you're not feeling it, 9 times out of 10, it's a reason. And I say, go where you love, go where it's going to be easy for you to create content and you're going to enjoy the process. And you're
Absolutely.
absolutely correct about being yourself, because the more that I can be myself, the more fun I'm going to have showing up. And now it's not so much pressure. And am I saying the right thing? Oh my God, is this perfect? Is my background exceptional? Is, you just have all these thoughts going through your head. If you're just yourself, I can pop up with my cute little hat on, with my
Right.
little jeans and my leggings, because 9 times out of 10, that's what I got on at the boutique anyway. I'm gonna
Right.
pop up and I'm gonna be me, because people are accustomed to seeing the real me. And it's easy for me to create content as myself, because I'm not trying to be something that I'm naturally not.
Right.
So that makes a really, really, really good point. And I hope people take away that you can show up as yourself and you can be absolutely successful just as God created you. And you ain't got to be nothing else. And about 60% of the people you see online is lying about something.
That part.
Okay.
That
So
part.
don't feel bad if your life isn't picture perfect and every photo isn't perfectly curated. I get like that too. I challenged myself this year and I posted a reel of me, how I look at the boutique when I'm cleaning up, with my little hat. It was cold outside. My little hat, my big baggy shirt, my leggings, and my little beat up boots. I'm cleaning up the office at the boutique, and I normally dance around to everything, to gospel, to hip hop, whatever. And I'm on this weight loss journey, so I never really post full body videos. I challenge myself to get out that box of having to be, just have this curated, perfect video where everything is flawless and I don't look a hot mess and my environment is just, every corner is squeaky clean. And I said, I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna show people the real me. This is me cleaning my office at the boutique, and this is how I am in real life. I have a good time, and that gets some of the most engagement in DMs, and people, Steph, you is crazy, but they get a chance to see the real me. And guess
Right.
what? The real you is what people can relate with. They can't
Absolutely.
relate with something that you keep making up, which is why it's going to be very difficult to attract the business that you're actually looking for. So
Absolutely.
that was amazing. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time. I have learned some good stuff, honey, and I've been taking my little notes like, okay, I got to learn this, I got to learn that. So I hope everybody else was taking notes. Tell everybody how they can work with you, because I think you are phenomenal, and I really, really, truly believe, just with your level of understanding, and also with, like you said, your transparency and you just being real and you knowing what it's like to be a Black woman building a business. Like, you built your business out of a space of quote unquote struggle, when things
Yes.
weren't perfect in your life, when it's hard. And I feel like that's the time when God does his greatest work, when it's dark and it's ugly and you're in a season of what feels like tragedy and everything is just going to hell. That's when he does his most beautiful work, and you are able to take something and turn it into, like, probably something you never even imagined it would be. So I want everyone to know exactly how they can find you and how they can get support from you.
Sure. I'm on Instagram at the House of Strategy underscore. Um, I'm on there, but I may not be posted, but I see it every day. But the best way to contact me is www.thehouseofstrategy.co, not com, but co, houseofstrategy.co. And all of the ways to get in contact with me, you can fill out the form. We typically respond to inquiries within 48 hours. We don't work on Sundays or Mondays, or Saturdays. We have 3-day weekends around here. But that's how you can get in contact. And I would love to work with anyone who's listening. I'm at capacity right now. What's this, going into April? But end of April, I will have some vacancies to work with some other people and to partner with some of you all to help you all with all things marketing strategy. And just connect with me. I do like connecting with people on Instagram. I just don't post all the time because my mind be weary from posting for my clients or helping them out or doing whatever. But I'm just so grateful. This really just blessed me in so many ways, because this is like my first authentic Instagram connection. Because like I said, I'm on there, sporadically, but I have really, really, really enjoyed this, and I enjoy your content thoroughly. This is just, I feel so good. Like, I feel like I can just relax for the rest of the night. Like, my mind is just so at peace, because I really enjoy when we can make authentic connections with people. And it's not all about competition, but it's about gleaning and learning, because the Bible even says that iron sharpens iron. So I have truly,
Yes.
I've always been sharpened by just your content, everything. So I'm just really overjoyed right now. Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, that touches my heart and my soul, honey. Don't give me the little, get my eyes all teary and stuff. So before I let you go, I have to do my 5 truths in 5 seconds. Okay, five
Okay.
boss baddie truths in 5 seconds. I consider everyone a boss baddie. A boss
Okay.
baddie is someone that feels beautiful, is showing up as her authentic self, is doing what God has called her to do, and is out here and creating a phenomenal business. So I like to do 5 questions that I do not email my guests, so they have
Okay.
no idea. I want everybody to know they don't know what I'm gonna ask, but it ain't nothing too crazy, okay? But it's something cute. So you have 5 seconds to answer each question. So the
Okay.
first question is, what is your go-to boss baddie song?
Let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know.
Yes, and we got some tunes too. Most people just say the name, but you sang it for us, so that works. Who would you consider to be your alter ego? So I know we probably gonna play a little safe because you're a pastor's wife, but I did include some of my favorite people. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say Tasha Cobbs, Erica Badu, Nicki Minaj, or Beyonce.
Mm.
Or it could be a mix of all of them, like me.
I'm gonna say I'm somewhere in between Tasha and Nicki Minaj.
Okay, I love it. I'm here for it, honey. All right, third question. If you could take a girls' trip anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Maldives.
Ooh, that's nice. She fancy,
Hmm.
y'all. Okay. What are you currently reading right now?
I am currently reading it's on the way. How to build a killer team without killing yourself. I don't know who the author is, but I'm sure if you type that in on Amazon, you can find it.
That's good. And then the last question, because this podcast is Biz and Breakthroughs, what is one thing you would tell another woman to give her a breakthrough?
Pray.
That is good. That's a word in itself. That's all we needed to hear for the rest of the episode. That was it. Pray.
Pray.
Okay. I am in agreement with that too. That was good. I have enjoyed my time here with you. I just want to say thank you again for sharing space with me, for sharing space with the listeners today. All of the information to go find this amazing woman is going to be in the show notes below. Make sure you go follow her, go show some love, okay? Even if she go MI on Instagram, hit her up, DM
Hit
her,
me
because
up.
she
Hit
is
me up.
working. She doing things in real life. That's why she could disappear, okay? She out serving in real life. So I appreciate you so much, honey. I hope to maybe have you back because it's so much more that I just want to like pick your brain about. And I really, really would love to have a conversation about how you keep God at the forefront of your business. So hopefully
Oh,
you'll join us
yeah.
back for another episode. But thank you
Sure.
again, my love. And we will see you guys in the next one.